Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Underdog Legacy Podcast. Per usual, I am very, very happy that you're here. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm excited to talk about just another building block, another brick in the process for building something beyond what we're experiencing now. If you need a quick reminder, my name is Michael. I am in no way, shape, or form an authority on anything that I'm talking about. The only reason you should listen to me is because I am in the midst of building exactly what I'm describing. You have found perhaps one of the only podcasts where the discussions that are happening because they are theories that I am embracing myself in real time. These are not theories that I embraced a decade ago and now I'm some multimillionaire, fancy pants hotshot that has it all together and I'm telling you how you're supposed to live your life so you can achieve what I've achieved. Nope, we're in this together. And so when I'm talking through what I'm going to be talking through today, please keep in mind that I am preaching to myself. These are conversations that go through my head every single day. These are conversations that I have to wrestle with on a daily basis. And I'm not bringing them to you as an indictment or as judgment or as indication that somehow I am better than anyone or I have more figured out or put together or have accomplished more than anyone. That is not what I'm saying. I am humbly submitting my life as an opportunity for you to learn from me, for me to learn from you, for us to grow together in building something that's going to be incredible once we get there. I'm confident that we will if we can embrace these lessons. I just don't have the proof yet. You're here before the proof gets here. How many times have you had that opportunity? It's like watching a skyscraper being built from across the street. That's what we're doing right now. I'm fully confident it's going to happen. But sometimes, if I'm fully transparent, I am not sure how. Welcome to the mess. Welcome to the beginning. Welcome to the middle. Whatever it is, whatever it happens to be, I don't even know what stage I'm in. I just know where I'm going and what I'm doing today. And today is a podcast episode talking about life. One of the hard truths that we have to embrace is that most people are never going to achieve their dreams. It's not because they're not smart enough. It's not because they lack the capacity to achieve a dream. It's because they never truly commit to something incredible and go for it. As I just said, if that offends you or if that's hard to stomach, please rewind this podcast episode a few seconds and listen to what I just said, because I'm one of those people. I have struggled and muddled and fumbled my way through life for decades. And I am trying a new thing. I am taking a new path. I have settled on a new course. And that's what you're getting to experience here today. See, most of the time, we end up trapped in comfort and safety. We have incredible self-preservation instincts. We are dialing things back to make sure that we are good to go, that we're safe, that we're cared for. Maslow's hierarchy of needs sets the bar pretty low in one of the wealthiest countries on the face of the planet, in some of the safest spaces that we can experience. Granted, there's a lot of instability, there's a lot of poverty, and there's a lot of danger out there. But for the most part, if you're listening to this podcast, more than likely, food, clothing, shelter, and warmth are not issues that you're having to deal with, right? So from a Maslow's hierarchy perspective, we're doing pretty well. We're able to achieve a pretty quick jump up that ladder to where we begin looking at life from a, how do I not lose what I've gathered together for myself? How do I keep myself safe and protected and prepped Now, now that I've accomplished what I've got, now that I've earned what I have, now that I've got some semblance of comfort and safety. And what happens is that most people would rather end up being miserable in what's familiar and like comfortable than they would be feeling discomfort in the pursuit of something extraordinary. Like, I would rather feel more comfortable, miserable while eating whatever I want just because it tastes good than to deny myself a flavor in exchange for reaching a fitness goal or a health goal. I would rather sleep a little bit longer because it's comfortable, but then be tired and groggy and upset and disjointed and all that with my life than to get up and maybe go knock a workout out or get up and work on what I know is going to take me and my family or my circle to a better place financially, right? Comfort is this seductive thing, but it's a thief. It steals our urgency. It steals our hunger for something more. It steals the fire out of us because it's comfortable. I think about this. I have a puppy. So there's a lot of dog analogies bouncing through my head a lot of the time. And if you think about the fact that we have taken an apex predator, like if you're wondering if wolves are apex predators, just check out the havoc they're wreaking in Yellowstone and ask a rancher how they feel about wolves. They're crazy, they're tough, they're strong, they're killers. We took that thing, gave it some comfort, invited it up to the fireplace, gave it some food it didn't have to hunt, and all of a sudden we got Bernedoodles getting frightened when the door closes just a little bit too loud, right? The same thing happens with us. Like, we experience comfort, we get a job, we get some income, and then all of a sudden what we've been struggling for isn't quite so difficult all the time, and we're able to buy the niceties and buy some material things and go out to eat when we want, and then all of a sudden we're just in this rut where we're entertained, we're well fed, we're warm, we're as the there was a viral clip during COVID that it was a elderly lady, and she's like, "We're fat and sassy." That's where we end up, and our dreams are what suffer. The fire in us that's looking for something more is what suffers, right? And so, if you're listening to this and you've made it in this far into the episode, or this far into the podcast series as a whole, the assumption is that you're looking for something more. My assumption is that you're looking for something more. You're looking to build something, and you don't want to just enjoy comfort and safety and tranquility. You would rather jump into the arena and build something. You feel a mission and a purpose, a sense of calling to your life. And maybe you're asking, how do you get started? What do you do? Where do you go from here? The simple answer is you have to have a definite purpose. As a Christian, I've had a definite purpose, discipleship, and living a life of faith and religious disciplines. And like, in the Christian world, sometimes that's really easy for that to become all consuming, and then like everything else falls by the wayside, right? Um, I've noticed that humans, we have this capacity to be incredibly disciplined in certain areas of our lives, and then incredibly not disciplined in other areas at the same time somehow. Um, I've worked incredibly hard to grow my skills and to become more capable as a marketer, as a writer, as a storyteller, as a strategist. I've put in thousands and thousands of hours, late nights, early mornings, weekends, growing these skills within myself. But I've been incredibly undisciplined with my eating habits and my fitness habits, right? Maybe you see people who they're incredibly fit and they're incredibly healthy, but their relationships are trash, and they don't have a relationship with their kids or their spouse. or they crush it at work and they go to the bar after and it's just a mess. It's this weird, like, epic, amazing things, and then also brokenness at the same time. We hold these kind of in tension all the time. And what we have to do if we want to move forward is we have to have a definite purpose, a calling, a sense of mission that is pulling us forward, like as a whole, like not just pulling a piece of me forward, like in the religious context where I started, but all of me is moving forward in this definite sense of purpose. And it takes a lot. It takes something massive in order for us to be pulled in the way that we must be pulled if we want to achieve the ultimate level of success and achieve our potential. Most people want success. We want to be successful and have nice stuff and accomplish incredible things, but we can't define what that looks like. So we fall back to the safety and the comfort of normalcy. There's a scripture, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And when we're thinking about nothing in particular, what does that make us? If our thoughts are consumed with what we're afraid of, poverty, sickness, weakness, it results in exactly what we've been thinking of. The power of purpose is a universal truth. This hit me the other day, Genesis 11, a group of people. Welcome to the faith portion of this podcast. If you're not a faith-filled person, there's still some truths that you can pull from this. So don't tune away. Just keep on listening. We'll bring it full circle here. I'm not here to beat anybody over the head with my religious beliefs, but in Genesis 11, there was a group of people that decided to build a tower to heaven, and they were so intent. The Tower of Babel, you've probably heard this story. They were so intent that God literally looked and said, nothing they set out to do will be impossible for them. And so he came down and confused the languages because they were so set and so intent on building a tower to heaven. So even all the way back in the book of Genesis, we see this universal truth being played out. The God of the universe recognizing the power of the universal truth. And then we fast forward to today and we can literally see the same exact power in modern empire builders where they've set out to accomplish something incredible and they've accomplished it. We can look at the Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates and the Steve Jobs of our day. We can look at Andrew Carnegie and Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, and we can recognize the power of a definite purpose and picking something and setting their whole focus on that. And as I talked about in the last episode, you don't even have to know exactly how you're getting from point A to point Z. You just set your purpose and go, and you will be pulled along by the sense of purpose and passion. The problem is that most of the time, we're not doing this. We're focusing on the worst aspects of life. We're focusing on the weakness or the poverty. We're focusing on the person that's accomplishing something that I want to accomplish, but I haven't been able to yet. We're focused on the lack of skills that I feel like I have, or what are people going to think of me, or the permissions that I feel like I need to get from my spouse or my parents or my friends or my circle or social media before I actually begin diving into becoming who I am created to be and the purpose that I am created to fulfill. So when we assume these vague goals and ideas for the future are going to achieve somehow some extraordinary result, like, we're way off base. You can't input vagueness and uncertainty and fear and expect extraordinary in return. You can't plant corn and expect apples in return. It's a basic principle. It's very hard to wrap your mind around it. And people have been talking about this from the beginning of time. From the beginning of recorded history, some of these secrets have been discussed, and still a tiny percentage of people actually grasp hold of these universal truths, these biblical, spiritual truths, and move forward and actually achieve the success that they're meant to achieve with it. So let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you've got a boat sitting in a harbor. We've got a captain on this boat, and we say we have to get to London. Go to London. That's it. The boat untethers from the dock, or whatever the word is for a big boat, the pier. There it is. The boat untethers from the pier, starts moving in some random general direction. Do we think it's actually going to make it to London? Like if we're thinking 10,000 attempts, how many attempts do you think we're going to make it to London? If we start to refine, you have to go east to get to London. We probably get a little bit closer, right? You have to go east and a little bit to the north from, I don't know, Boston. Don't quote me on that. If you're planning on taking a boat from Boston to London, it might not be northeast. I'm reasonably confident in the easterly direction. North, south, don't quote me, okay? If we add charts and we add experts and we add GPS, we add really strong motors to the boat, we add some experience and expertise to the boat, what are the chances now that that boat actually might make it to London? Probably starting to get pretty stinking good, right? See, the problem is most of us are like that boat. I know I have lived my life exactly like that boat in the harbor, and I have been aimless as all get out. I know I want to accomplish stuff. I like a nice car. I like this. I'd like that. But that's been the extent of it. And then everything that I've wanted, I've discounted my ability to actually accomplish it and say, I like it, but I probably won't ever make it. I get the boat out of the harbor a little bit, and then I get smashed by waves and get just driven into the rocks and scraped up and banged up, and I end up back at the pier or the dock, worse even. And it's a mess. It's frustrating. And it's all because I've lived a life where the flashes of insight and the flashes of purpose that I've had have been so fleeting and so easily squashed by the cares and the struggles and the trials of life, or by my own internal dialogue that keeps me held back from where I need to be moving forward. I know I'm not the only one. Does that cycle, does that reality sound familiar? I know it does because I've had enough conversations with people. And the fact of the matter is, you know, and I know that we were not built to sit in a harbor and just bounce around. We were built, we were created, and we were made to actually get out and accomplish incredible things. We were empowered to get out and overcome challenges and become something incredible. And the difficulty there is that it's uncomfortable. See, people that make something of themselves and they make something worthwhile of their lives, they start with a decision that is firm, a definite purpose. They burn the boats. They stop negotiating with their potential. They stop waiting for permission from everyone else, and they go. They're fueled by desire. They're lit up with passion, and they are unstoppable because they truly become unstoppable. It's not that they're jerks. It's not that they don't need other people. It's not that they don't need support and encouragement and someone on their team. Many, many times they're working alongside others that have the same passion burning inside them for a similar or an aligned goal. But you have to start. You have to make a decision, and you have to fight. You have to kill the distractions. You have to relegate them back to their place. Social media, being busy, self-doubt, overthinking everything, like the negative self-esteem or the horrible self-esteem We don't just drift from dreams. We don't just drift away from purpose and from a mission that was instilled into us when we were created. We get distracted from it. We get pulled away from it. That's the most insidious reality of life, is that we typically are not completely beat up head on by distractions and by difficulties. Typically, we are wooed away from what we are trying to accomplish by distractions. It's not even something that we can face head on. It doesn't have a face, or the face is ourselves, right? Instead, maybe it's good things, maybe it's necessary things that become unhealthy because they become our fixation, right? Silent killers are strangling the purpose and the passion and the mission from us. And if we want to actually accomplish and move forward in life, we have to acknowledge these things. We have to recognize these things. We have to lock in our purpose. And then we have to be committed to accomplishing the tasks that come to mind and moving forward, the next step, the next right step, the next right step, in order to accomplish what it is that we're created to accomplish. You don't need more time. You don't need more skills. You don't need more permission. You just need a sense of purpose and a sense of urgency. So this week, I would encourage you, pick that dream back up, dust it off, give it a name, take some time to write it down. Make the decision and take the next step towards becoming a purpose-driven, mission-minded, hard-headed, hard-charging winner, and pursue what it is that you know you're meant to pursue. Dive into who you want to become, make a purposeful decision, and get after it this week. If this podcast has helped you at all, if this has sparked any sort of thought, if this has given you any sort of ideas, encouraged, challenged, or inspired you, please take a moment to share it. Take a moment to talk about it. Take a clip out, take a quote, put it somewhere. Let me know how you're doing, what you're working on. Be sure and subscribe. Be sure and leave a review. Be sure and give me a follow. I'm here to maybe hopefully call out some stuff that I've fought with in my own life, some things that I'm working on overcoming now, and hopefully build something in public that will inspire others to do the same alongside me. I am not special. I am not in any way different than anybody else listening to this podcast. And I know that if I can do it, you can too. And I'm excited to see what you build when you finally decide to lock in and move forward. Till next time, go crush it this week.